Hello, everyone. My name is Grace Sevilla Giestas, and this FHA project has a particular focus on supporting adult learners at initial level, especially those who are beginning readers. Today, I'm presenting an adjunct study guide developed to support delivery of VU 23489, that is, recognizing letters of the alphabet and their sounds using extremely familiar words, often referred to as letters and sounds. From 2018 to 2020, I mainly delivered SESWAY units to mixed preliminary to level 0 cohorts. Very quickly, I realized the biggest challenge wasn't just low English, it was that many learners were absolute beginners to emergent readers. For experienced AMEP lecturers, that's familiar territory. But as a newer lecturer, my TESOL training didn't fully prepare me to teach reading from the ground up. So what happened? That learning on the job experience is what sparked this project, and it's dedicated to other new lecturers teaching initial cohorts. This 2025 Flexible Hours Arrangement project aims to improve delivery of VU 23489. The key output is an adjunct study guide, a teacher-facing resource built from curated and adapted materials based on LWA's English-ready letters and sounds. The target cohort, of course, are the ab initio adult learners at initial level, often with limited prior schooling. These learners may be developing literacy at the same time as they are developing English skills. After relevant and research and a review of the unit's KPAs, a central point became clear. VU 23489 is grounded in phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is an oral skill, the ability to hear and work with individual sounds in spoken words before focusing on print. Without further ado, let me show you the project itself. Introducing our adjunct study guide for VU 23489, recognizing letters of the alphabet and their sounds in extremely familiar words. This has been built inside North Metro Tape's Blackboard pages. And this is to address the feedback from some AMP lecturers that they need lesson materials that are accessible online. But an important point from the start, this guide is designed for teachers, not for students. Why is that? Because as we know, our initial level students have limited to no digital skills. However, students still receive their learning materials inside each lesson. So what we're looking at here is more like a teacher roadmap that supports consistent delivery across the unit. Now let's look at the structure of the guide. The guide is organized into 3 clear stages, and these stages directly match the 3 elements in the unit description. Stage 1 aligns with element 1, which is recognizing and producing letter names. Stage 2 aligns with element 2, which is recognizing and producing sounds. And lastly, stage 3 aligns with element 3, recognizing extremely familiar words. Along the way, we've also included progress monitoring tools, which I will discuss a bit more later. But this progress monitoring tools work as a diagnostic and formative assessments, so teachers can quickly check where learners are at to identify gaps and adjust instructions early before small problems become bigger barriers. Now, let's look into each stage. Inside each stage, the structure is simple and practical. You'll see a learning map first, so you can immediately understand pathway and sequence. After that comes the lesson modules, which include PowerPoint presentations and student worksheets. Let's have a look at one of them. Here you go. So you can see that the materials themselves are a mix of created and curated resources, some developed by myself and others adopted or borrowed from well-known phonemic and phonetic teaching programs. In other words, this is a collection of what works, organized into a teachable sequence that supports delivery, consistency, and learner progress. As a last note, I want to highlight the progress monitoring tools. These tools are designed for teachers and it can be used straight away as a diagnostic check, especially at the start of a course. So teachers can quickly identify the reading profile of an ab initio or absolute beginner cohort. There are a few sets of materials included in here. Let's have a look. First, the ones from the Literacy Hub of the Australian Department of Education. And then we also have the New Zealand Phonics Check Continuum assessment materials, which teachers may find very useful. However, I'd like to highlight the work of a respected colleague, Simon Smith. That is a classroom-designed table of the English alphabet sounds. The table represents the common grapheme-phoneme correspondence and is used to coach the absolute beginners in prelim classes. In collaboration with Simon, this section contains true phoneme sounds that teachers and learners can practice from. For example, a tutor instruction is also provided on how to use the decoding coaching sheets. Thank you for listening.